Hello, and welcome back to LARP School. Today, character and death. Yes, hello, welcome back, and today we talk about the end of a character's life, death. Now, this is done at an even better time. It was one I was planning to do anyway, but it's perfect timing, because sadly, at the event gone just last weekend, Mavis sadly passed away. I'll talk through the story quickly, just to give you some perspective as to why the death, how the death affected me and stuff. I wasn't really timed in for long, about 2 minutes, and that was my playtime for the weekend. Given what happened after my op and I'd done the ritual, that kind of bit me on the arse in the ultimate way, but that's fine. That's the way the game goes. I was executed by other players, which doesn't bother me. It's in the rules, they can do that, I don't care. And yeah, but Mavis is still around. As to what respect exactly? FOIP. For those of you who don't know what FOIP means, it means find out in play. FOIP. Post-editing Rhys, please put that in. The more you know. So yeah, death, as I did, sort of briefly touch upon in the very first character episode, it can affect people in different ways depending, how long you've had the character, what sort of things the character has done, and generally just the person playing that character's response as well to the situation. Different situations can reflect in different things. I will be going over some good examples of death over the weekend that happened. There are some that were a bit and some that were absolutely fine. And I won't be naming names for the simple fact of, I haven't spoken to them beforehand. They don't know I'm going to be talking about it, so I won't be naming their characters or anything like that. Just in case they're not comfortable, in case they're not comfortable about me talking about it, which I completely understand. Now, there was in one of the regiments, in one of the regimental linears, there was a huge waves after waves of tech dead, which are basically zombie tech in a way, I guess. Unfortunately, one person was left behind from one of the groups participating in that. He was swarmed. There was video, someone did record the moment as well. He went down fighting like a champ, I must give him that. But he was just abandoned, left in the middle of, in the corner of a field, left to die to wait out his 2 minutes of life left. He was upset. He wasn't, going around hitting things, getting really pumped up. He did get straight pretty much back into another character, which is always good. But obviously he was miffed at the time. It was the fact that he was basically abandoned, which I feel touched him more. And that's something that I feel can touch on everyone, using that as an example. If you do get left, then there's a variety of reasons why that could be. They may not have seen you. If they did see you, then maybe they were going to come up with a plan to come and rescue you. If not, then maybe your regiment's just a dick. And those three things, given that story, to be fair, the only way you could just positively come out and be like, yeah, alright, is if the death doesn't affect you. If you've got plans for afterwards anyway, if there are fail safes and that sort of thing, then it wouldn't affect you, and it shouldn't. But in more personal aspects, he was seen by his men. They knew he was down, and they left it. And I can understand in a way why he was pissed off with that. I would have been too. He's a lovely fella, both his character and in person. And within the faction regiment, sorry, that he was in, he was respected as well. All the more surprising why he was left, which makes me presume they didn't see him. But it happens, and I think when it comes to character death as well, it's not so much I see the death, it is more OC. And the reason I say this is, and I experienced this myself over the weekend, is a lot of people, even straight afterwards, were like, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" Me, I was just like, it's part of the game. It happens. But I can completely understand and see why this would drive some people nuts, hearing this pretty much constantly with a character dying. Because it does start to grate on you. It's, you tell the first 60, 70 people, yeah, no, it's fine, it's the game. And then you get another 60, 70 people come along, and it's like, yes, it's just part of the game. I'm fine. Seriously, fuck off. So I can understand why people get a bit miffed, more OC than IC with that kind of thing. It is a bit much, especially over a whole weekend. Now, another example of character death, pretty much almost, reflects the story of my first character. It was this guy, it's a new player, new character. There was the final battle, and I'll do a review video of GC Event 1 as well. There's also video as well, so I'm hoping to get permission to use some of that video to talk over, just to go over some of the key points. I will get in touch with the guy who was filming to see if I can do that. But yeah, so the final battle had happened, and at this point, the great unnamed one, who's basically a god, he can tear apart the fabric of the universe like that. He gave life back to some people who died on the battlefield, at the cost of that life being taken once more upon the ending of the battle. Now, they didn't know that at the time. They thought possibly that they got very lucky with death, but you can't escape death. It will come for you. So there was a whole conundrum, not a conundrum, but a kerfuffle, I should say, within the last few minutes of the final battle. Once the main battle had ceased, there was this secondary sort of thing that had popped up and reared its head, which I'll get in more into in the review of my experience of the event. But there was one guy, and first character, first time playing, he just walked off. He told his regiment that he was just going for some fresh air, going for a walk, and he popped himself in the head and suicided his character, basically. Which I've turned around and said before, in previous videos, that's absolutely fine. If you want to do that, you go ahead and do that. You do have control over whether your character lives or dies. So if you've had enough, put a bullet in your head and say, no, brains are everywhere, I'm dead. And let sort of the roleplay happen with trying to revive you or something like that. So you can't just go bang, yeah, no, I'm out. Let it roleplay if you do want to do something like that, especially in public. But you do have control over your character. If you want to kill your character, you can kill your character in whatever way you want. So that was, a lot of people were very thrown by that suicide. But given what had happened and stuff and the situation at the time, I can see it, it's a pretty justifiable thing, and it makes me excited to see sort of what character he's going to do next. Because if he is following sort of the same path as me through GC, this next character is probably one to watch out for. Other deaths that happened over the weekend, you did get a couple of deaths on the final battle. As I said, they were revived for a small amount of time. But they eventually died, and oh god, the feels. Jesus, I've never honestly seen such fantastic roleplay in any system. as to when all this was going on. The roleplay was absolutely fucking 11 out of 10. I kid you not. This was as real as LARP gets. It felt real. Everybody was sucked in to the emotion. It was amazing. That these two were basically killed by their own regiment. The great unnamed one had said, you know, those who came forward, come forward, those who received life from me. So you have 2 minutes, say your goodbyes. And you did have like the regimental leader, co-leader, so the second in command, sorry, heads all over the place. Sort of like, you can't do this. What can we do to keep them alive? And he gave off this fantastic speech, which I'll write down and say in the next, in the review, because, if you want evil, but not like pure in your face, like, ha ha ha, evil, this fucker's evil. I love it. And I stand by his side now as Mavis. But yes, they were killed by their own regiment, by the sword. The regiment has a sword. They're very much the melee kind of regiment, and they specialise in doing the melee. So it was through a sword beheading. Done fantastically well. There were tears. Both Icy and OC, as I was walking around with the Great Unnamed One, you know, when we first came across them, there were tears in their eyes already from losing a character. As to see them get back up, you know, with the hope of, oh, fantastic, my character's not dead, and then to have it all ripped away again. That is just the most ultimate feelsy, like, ha ha ha. You couldn't get more evil than that. It was fantastic. Also, when it comes to death, all of them came up with other characters. Well, those who had the time to anyway. They went in with other characters and done that. As for me, I'm now more back-end sort of participation. So I'm more the monstering and the reffing, generally just sort of helping where I can in this system now. I may one day go back to playing in Greencloaks, but I also see this as an opportunity with helping out there, you know, to go around and try out some other systems as well, possibly other small systems or larger ones as well. But it does free up that little bit of extra cash, especially at the moment where it's really hard. So that's, in a way, it's a double-edged sword, you know. I'm happy Mavis is dead. Mavis was never supposed to live 2 years. Never supposed to live 2 years. Never supposed to become the CEO. Never supposed to do half the shit that Mavis did. But, you know, not playing Mavis again is going to be weird. Well, I might play it again. I don't know. Mavis is basically property of the system now to do as they wish with. So yeah, my next video I'll do a review of GC Event 1, the Assault, and I'll tell you what I thought about it. You know, looking at it, there aren't really any cons except for one, but it's not even bad. It's my own thing. I injured myself, but anyway, you can find out in the next video what I thought of GC Event 1. Thank you very much for watching, and thank you so much as well, I'll put this on at the end, for the support, especially on episode 1 of Characters, which is now well over 1,000 views. And looking at the analytics, there hasn't been a single day since the 28th of December where at least 3 people haven't watched that video. And that's just amazing. I never thought that I'd be able to create a piece of content like that you know, has the longevity to it, and it's slowly catching up to some of the other larger channels' videos as well. So that's fantastic. Also at nearly 175 subscribers as well. I know it only feels like yesterday I said we're at 150. The growth is going through the roof. I was planning, 175 was my end of year goal to get to. I don't know where that's going now, through the roof. But thank you so much for your support, And until the next time, take care and goodbye for now.